your professional life lately and feeling this deep sense of friction or like things just aren't clicking, you absolutely aren't crazy. For decades, we were all sold this very linear story. Today, we're diving into the undeniable evidence of why that one stable career model literally failed, and more importantly, how you can actually thrive in this wild new reality. Let's get into it.
Think about it. 20 years ago, making a career choice in your 20s pretty much guaranteed a totally predictable trajectory by the time you hit 40. All the milestones were set in stone. But today, well, 50% of the jobs that are going to exist in just 10 years, they don't even have names yet. Seriously, half of the future economy is made up of roles and industries that literally haven't even been conceptualized. So you just can't plan a traditional straight line career path when your final destination hasn't even been invented yet.
Section 1, the 70-year career myth. So here's the thing. The whole idea of one stable career for life, it's not some ancient ingrained human tradition. It's actually a super recent economic blip. It's barely 70 years old. Going back to 1945, post-World War II economies relied heavily on mass manufacturing. Basically, they needed predictable workers for predictable factories. And by the 1980s, this really solidified into a social contract. You pick a lane, you stay loyal to the company, and you retire with a nice pension. But today, that deal is breaking down fast. The old factory model of predictable work simply cannot survive in a digital, hyper-fast global economy. Moving on to Section 2, the Great Skill Expiration. 25%. Now, this is hard data pulled directly from LinkedIn's global database, and it's honestly a little mind-blowing. The skills you need to do the exact same job today are almost 25% different than they were just 60 months ago. And I want to be crystal clear here. We aren't talking about pivoting to completely new industries. We're talking about just keeping your current job title. The daily requirements are literally shifting right beneath our feet. Because of this massive shift, our traditional approach to education is actually fundamentally flawed. Think about it. If you're spending 4 years just putting your head down to master one very narrow specific thing, you're actually taking on an immense amount of hidden risk. That kind of 4-year mastery is directly risking fast obsolescence. Why? Because there's a very real statistical probability that the specific job you trained so hard for won't even exist in the exact same way by the time you actually enter the job market. Economists actually have a formal name for this whole phenomenon. They call it skill half-life. It's kind of like how radioactive material decays. Your professional knowledge has a half-life too. Essentially, it means that half of your hard-earned professional knowledge becomes completely outdated in about 5 years. Just imagine flipping a coin. Boom. Half of what you know today simply won't matter in 2029. And depending on your industry, the reality gets even more intense. That standard 5-year half-life, that's just for a general career. But if you look at the technology sector, experts say the half-life of your skills is closer to just 2.5 years. Think about that for a second. Every 30 months, half of your entire technical toolkit just rots away. You literally cannot afford to stand still, or you're actively moving backward. So if all your hard skills are guaranteed to expire, what actually matters anymore? Well, as the source material perfectly points out, the real skill is how fast you can learn the next thing. That's the secret. Your ultimate survival tool isn't some specific coding language or a really impressive degree. The only asset that truly appreciates in value over time is your pure speed of adaptability. In this economy, learning, unlearning, and relearning, that is the absolute new currency. Which brings us to Section 3, the trap of being average. Now, we have to face a really counterintuitive truth here. For decades, the safe path was just to be a reliable, average worker, right? You stay at one company, climb the ladder, try not to rock the boat too much. But today, that so-called average career is actually the riskiest path you could possibly take. Because in today's landscape, being average just means you're predictable. And being predictable means you are entirely replaceable. I know that old, safe ladder feels super comfortable, but steady and predictable work is exactly what artificial intelligence and automation are hunting for right now. These automated systems are literally designed to consume repetitive, average tasks. So if your whole career strategy is to just keep your head down and do predictable work, well, you are painting a giant bullseye right on your own back. The survivors in this new era absolutely won't be the ones with the longest tenure. Let's look at how to fix this in Section 4, the art of becoming. This is the massive shift you have to make starting today. You really need to start treating your career like a living, updating operating system, rather than some title you earned once and now just have to defend forever. Think about your smartphone. You'd never refuse a software update, right? I mean, if you did, eventually your apps would crash and the phone would basically become a brick. Well, your professional life works the exact same way. You have to stop defending a decade-old degree or clinging to a 3-year-old job description. You've got to constantly be downloading the new patch and rebooting your professional operating system.
Ultimately, the real question you need to be asking yourself isn't, what should I become? Instead, it's, how good am I at becoming something new? I really want to leave you with this final, provocative thought, and I want you to answer it honestly for yourself. If your career had to completely reinvent itself tomorrow, would it survive? Are you agile enough to pivot, or are you anchored to an outdated title? Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep updating that operating system, and I'll catch you